So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my story. Just I've been kind of, dipping into it a little bit, but just to give you a full rundown of how I got started. I didn't start with much, and it was definitely I didn't really know anything about the industry. I volunteered for a senior care facility, a large place. And I was really just volunteering because I always liked taking care of old people because I used to go to my grandmother's senior home and I used to make money like going to the grocery store for some of the seniors in her community, and I would clean their apartments. So I always like had a sweet spot for old people. So it was like, oh, I'll just volunteer for an assisted living facility. And one of the clients was like, oh, I'm paying I think she said $7,000 or $6,000 a month to live here. And my food is not here on time. And I was like, excuse me, how much are you paying to live here? I'm in the wrong business. So I started doing some research, and I was, knocking on people's doors that own facilities, and I was asking for advice, and really no one wanted to help me. And that's also why I got into like putting videos out and stuff, because I was like, well, I'll at least put some stuff out there because no one helped me. I'll at least try to help people out. But anyway, I started my first facility, and I had around $7,000. I may have been 7, maybe 7,500, but it was definitely not over $8,000. So I kind of was counting my coin, and I went looked for rental properties, and I said, well, I can't afford to buy anything. So I said, well, let me go for a property I can lease. So, before that, to back it up even further, I was a contractor. So that was what I was doing for, that was my main business. So I was a contractor. I was doing kitchens, bathrooms, renovation, and I was just taking time to I wasn't doing it myself. I had crews I was doing it. I mean, I was handy. I know how to do a lot of the work, but I mostly had crews working for me. So I had some spare time because I was like in between selling these jobs and managing projects. I volunteered 1 or 2 days a week at this facility. And so now going forward, I said, let me find a property. So found a property that was sitting on the market for a little while. It was in a good neighborhood. It may have been like a little ran down, but I said, I can do some work to it. I went to the owner and I said, if I can lease this property, I want to turn it into an assisted living facility. He didn't really know what it was, so I explained it to him. I didn't have a business plan. Now I know what I know now. When you go to somebody to do some negotiating, you hand them a business plan, and then you have that talk after they've reviewed it. But I was just getting started. Like I said, I didn't know. So, I finally got the guy to agree. And then I gave him the property was $1,500 a month or $1,600 a month. And I asked for 2 months off. I said, well, the licensing is going to take me a few months, and I really can't afford to be paying you rent while the place is just sitting. So can you give me a few months off? And he was like, well, can you sign an extra year on the lease? And I was like, all right, cool, deal. So I ended up, signing a 3-year lease. It was a 3-year lease. And I then started doing work to the property. As me and one of my guys, we painted, just put the grab bars in the bathroom, and then went and got furniture. And I knew like I didn't have money to pay employees at the time. So I took some money. I took the classes, the manager's class, and I took the classes on how to be a care provider, because I wasn't a care provider before. I just was volunteering. So I took the care provider classes, which was only like a few weeks. And it was stuff that I already had learned volunteering anyway, but you have to have the certificates to work in a facility. So I did that. Then, I got licensed. I went around looking for clients. I gave out business cards and brochures, and finally I got licensed for 7 clients I got, and I was like hustling. So I'm by like my second month, I was full. And I was like, oh, making good money, but now I'm in there taking care of 7 people by myself. So when they slept, I slept. I had a daughter that I had joint